Yeah. Hi, Bill.
Hi there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
You may have noticed that we're also all now.
You're freezing, Mike.
I think Mike's frozen, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden,
Mid-sentence, Mike. Can you hear us? No.
yeah, it looks like his picture went black.
Right. Oh, I've got him still. There he is. Mike, what were you saying? We missed you.
I was just saying that we're all now live on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh,
We're live
yes,
on
we are.
YouTube.
Good
If
morning.
anyone wants to watch, these are pretty exciting. So should I get ready and start? I think I show 8:30. Mike, is there anyone else we're planning?
I don't believe so. This is
Okay. I'll call the meeting to order of City of Lake St. Louis Development Review Board, May 14th, 2020, regular meeting. Roll call, please, Michelle.
Mayor Kathy Schweikert,
Here.
William Fridley,
Here.
Mike Potter,
Here.
Judith Westerman,
Here.
Dennis Simmer.
Here.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes of the April 16th, 2020 meeting?
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment. Do we have any public on?
No.
Doesn't sound like it. Okay, just wanted to make sure. We have no tabled items. We have no old business. New business. Item 1 is a restroom building for Parks Department and Windstone Trailhead, 92 Hidden Bluffs Drive. And I'm assuming staff wants to speak to this.
I can start, and Darren, of course, is here for the meeting as well. This is a restroom for the new park, Nature Park, I believe it's called. Darren, is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, it's kind of interesting. We just did a survey. The park board came up with 3 names and wanted some public input on those names. So we went out for a survey, and it looks like it landed on Deer Ridge Park as the name of the park. We've got a park board meeting next week, and we'll talk to them about the name and get their recommendations on moving forward. But if they go with the survey results, it looks like it's Deer Ridge.
Good.
Which
Sounds
is
better
very
than no
fitting.
name.
Better than no name, and every time we're out there, we see deer. So, I mean, it's a fitting name for sure.
Cool.
How's that coming? Construction? What?
It's going well. They're putting in the creek crossings right now. We did a low water bridge culvert over the main channel, and then we're doing a RCP. It's a concrete pipe that's going to go over another channel. So we will have 2 crossings. They should wrap that up in the next probably 3 weeks, depending on weather. And then once that's done, we can get equipment to the other side and start getting, we've got a bunch of benches that staff built. We can start getting those benches installed. We can get the mowers to the other side and get some work done. But we did the initial, we rented a big Bobcat with tracks and a forestry attachment in January. Cleared out the trails. So Chris and I went by on Monday, and we're working with students from Lindenwood University to help us with mapping of the trails. And the guy that I work with had an app on his phone, and we walked the trails and we sent that information to Lindenwood. So now they're developing some maps for us. But it looks like it's about 2.5 to 3 miles of trails that we have right now, and that doesn't include going north to the CA, which we hope to do at some point in the near future.
Good.
Not
That's exciting.
This is not important, but for those who don't know, Gundaker donated that 35 acres when they developed that, what's the name of that subdivision? It's not in the city.
Crimson
It's off
Oaks.
of Duello.
Whinstone.
What?
Crimson Oaks.
Yeah,
Is it
Crimson
Whinstone
Oaks.
or which one?
It's Crimson Oaks. It's
Oh,
on the left.
Okay,
You're
I
going
was
towards.
wondering.
Yeah, there was,
Okay.
they couldn't develop it, I guess, because there's a big watershed
Mhm.
at the bottom of the hill. And so they donated the land. I'm sure they did it for tax reasons.
Yeah.
But it
Oh,
was
good
nice.
for us.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know what year that was, 2005 or something like that. We've
Yeah.
owned it. And
It's
I don't
actually
know,
pretty good.
huh?
It's actually pretty good. I don't know how long ago it was.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, is there anything else, Darren or Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the process is or what information I can give you to help with the decision today, but if it's okay with Mike, I can just kind of tell you about the plans and kind of where we're at right now.
That'd be great. I don't have anything to add beyond what I put in the staff report.
Okay, all right. So just for reference, we kind of talked about this already, but the park itself is just north of the Whinstone subdivision. Prior to Whinstone being built, we worked out an agreement with them in which they gave us one of their lots to use as a trailhead and a parking lot for us for public access to the park. I attached the plans from the Whinstone subdivision just to give you reference, but the lot itself is 92 Hidden Bluffs. And right now, the parking lot's been completed for us. We've got the stubbed out utilities. I attached a picture of the site itself just to kind of show you the area that we have. It's a pretty small area in the back corner of the parking lot that we'll put the restroom facility on. I think the entire area was about 18.5 to 20 foot deep and then about 26 foot deep wide. So the idea is that we're just going to have a two-room restroom. It'll be unisex, just one room for each, or I mean, sorry, 2 rooms. And then the building itself is 13 foot deep by 17.25 foot wide. We'll have sidewalks surrounding the front and the sides. So basically what it'll be is there'll be a curb cut in the accessible loading parking space just in that corner there. And then there'll be a ramp up to the front of the building. And then you'll have the 2 rooms. And then if you go around the backside, that's where the utility room will be. And then the building is designed to meet all ADA requirements, obviously. What we felt important is because it's in a subdivision that we wanted to match the characteristics and look of the surrounding community. So we selected color schemes that I found on an existing home in the neighborhood, and I worked with the salespeople at McBride to make sure that we matched the materials being used, so that they got us in contact with the suppliers. And that's the color scheme that I'm proposing that we go with. It's kind of a charcoal, smoky looking color scheme, and then it'll be brick veneer up the side, and then halfway up, and then vinyl. So that's pretty much the plans that we have in place. Drinking fountain on the side.
Oh, good. That's good. People can refill their water bottles there too.
That's correct. And, you know, this bathroom will kind of be like our other bathrooms where we've got locking mechanisms on it. So the park itself, you know, just like all of our other parks are open dawn to dusk. So we'll put locking mechanisms on the doors that lock at a certain time and unlock at a certain time.
And Darren, you and Mike, you probably remember this too, where we had Daryl Lackey came to our board meeting. His daughter had bought a house there, and I think another resident was there, and they were concerned about the restroom. And I think it looks nice to me. It doesn't look. It's not like a stone building that looks like a restroom. But I think and I think Mike had it on his notes too, that it would be difficult to do any screening because we don't really have any area around there to do, like arborvitaes or something like that.
I think there's some site landscaping that's gonna go with it, isn't that?
That's correct. The actual building itself, we've got 4 foot of sidewalk on the sides and then 5 foot of sidewalk in front. So we really don't have any room to put any screening or landscaping.
Okay.
ADA, I mean, we have to meet ADA requirements
Right.
for access to the site.
Yeah.
I've talked to two or three people. I talked to a gentleman named Brian who lives in the subdivision.
Yes.
He called last week. He was asking if we could put some screening on basically along the property line next to the house that would be on the west side of the lot. Right now, we drove by and the house next to it, they've got sod down, so you can tell exactly where our line starts. There is enough room there that we can plant some screen, and that won't be a problem.
Okay.
We'll work with the tree board and the arborist and kind of come up with what makes sense for that site.
Okay.
But it just wouldn't be anything in front of the building. I think the best we could do for that building is possibly a planter that we would put in between the 2 doors just to break up the brick and the vinyl a little bit. But for actual surround, we just don't have the room for it.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Darren, you're talking about, so I don't know which way is west on there. I assume where it has on the site plan, it has existing silt fence. Is that what you're talking about, plants?
Let me pull it up real quick. That's correct. So on that plans, it would be to the left of that silt fence.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And the house is to the left too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then to the right is there's no house to the right. It's basically, you can see they've got an existing retaining wall that's next to the side and behind what would be the restroom facility. And then it's basically a drop off and then the creek's right there. So there's no
Yeah,
house to the
I can
right.
see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you can just plant something there. And,
Right.
I mean, this is not unusual. I mean,
No.
In the city, it's not unusual.
Yeah, I'm probably just as close to the main marina restroom as they are to that.
I'm sure you are.
Mm-hmm. I have a view of it. It doesn't bother me, but
Well, look at the little lake.
yep. Yeah.
And if you're locking the doors, nobody's gonna be around there.
Well,
What kind of lighting is planned for the exterior, please?
That's a very good question. Something that Mike pointed out to me. So when I submitted the plans, we had assumed that with the restroom being closed at night, a lighting wasn't necessary. After talking to Mike, we are going to put a light back into the plan, and it's just the idea is that we're going to have one light in between the 2 doors that will just be some, to illuminate it at night. It will be lighting that matches. We'll find a fixture in the neighborhood so it matches the existing neighborhood.
I just think it's kind of important to have a light, keep the graffiti off the walls, maybe.
Yeah, and after talking to Mike, he brought up a very good point. So yeah, the idea is that we will add that into the final construction plans.
okay. But the parking lot itself will not have lights, Darren?
There are no lights in the parking lot.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Good.
Mhm.
And really, there doesn't need to be because if it's dusk to dawn, people don't really need to be there.
That's correct. And the parking lot itself is, it's about 300 feet from the actual entrance of the trail. So we will put some signage in the parking lot, you know, just kind of directing people to where the trailhead is. We'll probably have a map of the park, some rules of the park will go in that in the parking lot area.
I noticed two different, I'm sorry. I noticed two different signs marked that they were the trailhead entrance. Darren, it didn't look like they were connected.
Current signs that are out there.
Yeah,
So those signs were placed after speaking with a couple people in the neighborhood who were not aware of the park. We felt it important to get some signage up just to let people know that that is the designated area for the parking lot and the trailhead, and then also where the trailhead is going to be. So the two signs that are out there now just say future site of the trailhead restroom or future site of the access point to the trails.
okay.
And I did take the St. Charles or Western St. Charles Chamber of Commerce out there a few months ago, and we did a little video. I don't know how many people watch those videos. And so that's a nice area. The fall colors were there, and I think it's going to be a popular place once we get the trail system in and it opens up. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It is going to be great.
Okay.
So right
Any
now
other
with-
comments? Oh, go ahead,
No.
Darren.
Oh, I was going to just tell you, so right now with the park board, we've got the park board meeting next week. I was going to give them update on the restroom facility, and if approved, we can start moving forward with the final construction documents for this. The park board's going to help decide some items such as, you know, what the pavilions are going to look like. We want to have one or two just small pavilions in the park. Share with them some updates on construction, what's been going on. We're going to have some seating areas that we're going to be discussing with the park board, some educational pieces that we're working with the tree board. So we've identified 5 different locations in the park that, you know, it could be a unique stand of trees, or the glade restoration area, or some other kind of unique areas that we want to tell the public what they're looking at, you know. And so those are some things that we're working on with not only the park board, but the tree board.
Good, good. I guess if there's no other comments, do I have a motion to approve the restroom building for Parks Department at Windstone Trailhead, 92 Hiddens Bluff, as shown in all the plans and documents?
A motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, it looks like we've got the restroom, Darren. You can tell the park board. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you so much, everybody. Do appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Okay, our second item is a fence amendment to previously approved fence at 1253 Henke. And this is the old horse stables that have been there forever and ever since I've been out here in '83. So
Yes. You may recall, I think it was very beginning of this year, we did a DRB approval of a fence that they requested. They were having problems with their neighbors, had dogs running it loose. They would come up into the stable area where people were riding the horses. They spooked a couple of horses, actually caused an injury.
oh gosh.
So the idea is the stables wanted to erect a fence to keep the dogs out.
Mhm.
They went ahead and they got the originally approved fence just completed. They had gone away for a weekend and they found that their neighbors had cleared off some of the brush that was along the property line, contiguous to the new fence, and exposed an area about 150 feet that was going to allow those dogs to get right back through there the way that they didn't want them to do.
Right.
So now they want to continue the existing new fence.
I think Mike's frozen.
I know, he's frozen in time.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
We hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay, I've got a funny internet connection this morning. I'm not sure what the problem is. I would have typically sent you all an email about this and approved it in that way. But since we were going to have this meeting anyway, the timing worked out that we just go ahead and ask you to consider it while we're all together like this.
Same fence.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just additional 150 feet.
150 additional.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, no questions. I'll make a motion that we accept this additional 150 feet of fencing at the stables.
I'll second. All is in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, is there any other board discussion right now?
Well, I need to sign the minutes from last time and this time. I don't know how to do that, Michelle, unless you want me to try to do something and scan it and email it to you.
I think I can just wait until we meet in person again and I'll just save everything for you. Because I haven't
Okay.
even printed them yet. So I think we can just do it that way.
Fine with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff, any staff comment?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All is in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We've adjourned the DRB board meeting, and everybody have a nice rest of the day, safe rest of the day.
It's gonna be
Bye,
warm,
Okay.
Thank you.
80 degrees.
And